for all of us. It's about predicting where the consumer is going and getting half of it right.
One of the things we want to do is create ads that don't suck.
Embracing change creates great possibility.
I'm Alan Hart, and this is Marketing Today. Today on the show, I've got Michelle Froah. She's the Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer at ETS, focusing on transforming ETS into an organization that empowers human progress. With a shift away from standardized testing and the rise of AI and other edtech tools, Michelle is leading ETS's global transformation, which focuses on leveraging today's technologies and delivering real-time insights to help learners unlock and unleash their full potential. On the show today, we talk about her journey from engineering at P&G to Kimberly Clark to Samsung to MetLife, her own consultancy, Brandable, and ETS. We talk about the combination of Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer, and what does that mean, and why should we be thinking about that becoming more and more a part of marketing roles at the leadership level. We talk about ETS and the transformation that they're going under, and a rebrand that is very shortly going to be launched, likely by the time this hits the airwaves. And I'll talk about much, much more. I hope you enjoy this conversation with Michelle Froah. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Hi, Alan. So nice to be here.
I know. I'm looking forward to this conversation, learning about ETS and all the things that you're doing there. But before we get into the business side, I have to ask you, I hear that you wanted to be an astronaut when you were young.
I did. Very close, right? Being a CMO.
Exactly. Some might say so.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever read the poem, Taking the Road Less Traveled, Alan?
I have. It's been a long time, but yes, I have.
Well, that poem always resonated with me. I love the line, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that's made all the difference. And I feel like that's been my path that I've taken in life. And that path was to be an astronaut when I was in high school. And maybe it seemed like it was a great wanderlust destination or something, and taking that road less traveled. I had taken advice from a college counselor, actually, to go and study mechanical engineering. And because the way to be an astronaut might be to operate the robotic arm on the space shuttle. So I took that road less traveled and went on to study mechanical engineering. And that led to other roads less traveled. I worked in a manufacturing plant at Procter Gamble. That was one of my first jobs. Took away some really important capabilities that I think have served me very well in my career. For example, one was problem solving under pressure. And I also learned the value and appreciation of a team and how to lead and manage teams, sometimes who have a lot more technical application than you do. So that road less traveled now. Obviously, I'm not an astronaut, although I like to look to the stars for what we can do. And that's led me here to ETS, where I've been for almost a year.
That's awesome. And you're the Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer there. Tell me a little bit about the role, like what all it involves.
Sure. I was drawn to ETS because of the focus on people and the company mission that we have, which is so noble to drive really people forward and human progress with our products and solutions that are really based on that mission. I'm also a little addicted to change. I like to live life on the startup curve. And because we have been in such a wonderful transformation, it sounded like a role that fit everything I was looking for. It isn't your typical CMO role because of the heavy transformation focus, particularly on the new technologies that we have. But I'm responsible for communications, both internal and external, our customer insights and analytics, very important to know what our customers are thinking and feeling, brand and marketing excellence, our e-commerce efforts, and for sure philanthropy and how we give back to the world and the impact that we have on the world. And then our demand generation teams around the globe. And finally, our product innovation and development teams, which is where the innovation part comes in.
I love it. I love it. And so from mechanical engineer, manufacturing to marketing, and now marketing and innovation, it may seem like a path less traveled, but they make sense to some degree. I don't know if you like, they build on each other a little bit. Do you feel that way at all?
I really do. Every choice I've made on picking a path, sometimes you're a little bit unknown about what is down that path. And I have found that at every turn, I'm surprised about what I've learned. I'm surprised about how much delight in meeting new people and hearing new perspectives that maybe I wouldn't have heard if I wouldn't have taken that path. And frankly, how the concepts and especially problem solving, I think concepts that you gain through those different experiences can be applied to different situations. And that's always been fulfilling to me. But they do build on each other. I think as I started earlier, starting at P&G, I spent 18 years there. I started as an intern in the manufacturing plant, all those great life lessons, I would say, and career life lessons that I learned working at the plant. Amazing people, super talented. You had to manage multiple priorities, especially when you're managing a manufacturing line. You have safety, cost, reliability of the line, people development. Basically, you're in training to be a GM. And I love that. I love the ability to orchestrate across all of those competing priorities. And I think because of the work that I did at the plant, we focused on a lot of customer initiatives. And that got me very interested. And it was at P&G, definitely very cross-functional collaboration on all aspects of what we did. And really understanding customer needs got me super excited about and interested in marketing. And so I did my MBA at night and then took a leap and moved to marketing. I had such a wonderful experience, though, working in beauty brands, developing product launches, advertising, commercial plans, everything you do to delight the customer, because P&G customer is boss. And I think that really instilled in me the value of marketing and bringing the customer voice to the organization so that collectively we could best meet their needs. And then I think to your point of continuing to build, I moved to Kimberly Clark after P&G. I had the opportunity to move to Singapore and be the regional CMO across APAC. And that was a whole nother set of learning and building of those skills where really we were becoming more of a digital organization. We were building product and innovation and brands across multiple geographies. And I think I really learned the value of being local, if you will, global perspective, but a really local execution. And from there, took all those learnings, built more as I left Kimberly Clark and founded Brandable, which is a marketing consultancy, and really acted as a fractional CMO. Again, super interesting to apply all that knowledge to different categories and different situations that needed customer focus. And from there, I went on to Samsung, and that's such an interesting space too, because it's like consumer goods crossed with tech. And that helped me build even more ability and strength in some of these areas that I'm leading today. And then finally, right before ETS, I was at MetLife. And MetLife really drew me in because what an interesting industry being in financial services, and one that's really needing to be more customer focused. And the challenges there, especially with a very transactional and maybe even one-time transaction of brand and products, really allowed me to think about how you use insights, analytics, the brand, product innovation, all those things to drive global demand. So that's the long, twisty path with several forks in the road that I chose. I'm really glad I've come full circle, I feel like, here at ETS, where a lot of those experiences are really being utilized in this CMO plus role.
Yeah. When I my ADD career myself, speaking for one, I love the fact that you've switched industries, you've gotten various different perspectives and experiences along the way. I think, honestly, I've had a few other engineer or early engineer career, now turned marketing CMOs on the podcast. And there's something about your cohort, if you will, if I put you in a cohort.
I know several of them too.
Yeah. And you guys are great at breaking down problems and understanding levers you can pull. And anyway, I think it's a great training ground for future marketers.
Yeah, I do too. And don't you feel, Alan, like I know your background as well, but don't you feel like you've been a better marketer or even a better business leader because you've had the advantage of or I should say, because you've had multiple vantage points to figure out,
Yes.
like, how do you collaborate with people better? And
Yes.
how do you collectively solve that problem?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Most of the job of, I think, at an executive level is about people,
Yeah.
right? Getting people to move in a general direction, maintaining the excitement level, et cetera. The business is the easy part. It's not easy. It's getting people to move is definitely the challenge. But I agree. I like
Yeah. And
vantage
you
points.
know, just building on that, I was talking earlier about even being an engineer and being in a manufacturing plant in a leadership role. And one of the things that I've definitely taken with me throughout my career is that appreciation of leading people that maybe have more technical application than you do, right?
Yeah.
Or more of a practitioner. And so
Mhm.
then, to your point, you have to figure out what is your role as a leader to help people and to lead people and help remove barriers versus actually being the one that does the work.
Exactly. And I think those early career leadership opportunities shape you in a way that, unfortunately, there's a lot of folks that I feel sorry for many times because they started out as a technical expert, pursued that path, and then at one kind of mid-career, they end up leading people. And there is a definite adjustment that they go through in general. In my perspective of figuring out a lot of those early lessons, if you had an early leadership opportunity, that it isn't about being the smartest in the room. It's about getting everyone to move.
And frankly, being able to sell your ideas too.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I know what your next question might be, and I was going to build on your last one.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you what does ETS look like today, and give us a little scope of the business that you're leading.
Yeah, perfect. Because I was going to comment on the skills that you were just describing, but let me start with first a little bit about ETS. ETS has a 75-year history of being a nonprofit and really being the world's leading assessment company. And tens of millions of people, actually more like 50 million people, rely on our assessments each year to reach their goals. And we have a real impact on people's lives and how we can help progress their achievements and goals. But we're redefining really who we have been and who we serve because we want to double down on our mission really more than ever. While we've been a global leader in educational measurement and assessment, we're evolving with the changing landscape out there. We recently acquired Psy, a company that has helped us expand our business into licensing and credentialing, which allows us to have new and different ways to serve our customers more in the workforce. And so we're serving higher education institutions, governments, organizations, states, employers, really across the globe with solutions that fit their needs. And within those groups, really the people that are in those customer sets. So individuals who might be students looking to study abroad, teachers and at institutions and the societies of those
Right.
nations. We have products and services that really span from education solutions all the way through talent solutions and are in places like graduate admissions, English language proficiency, teacher licensure, professional licensure, and credentialing for many industries. But to come back to your point earlier about the kinds of skills that you might need to be successful in,
Yeah.
in that category of future readiness and work readiness. While we look to help people assess what they know, we also want to help people demonstrate how they apply that and in behavioral and other ways. And so some of those durable skills that you're talking about, leadership, resilience, persistency, creative problem solving, all of these great things are also other dimensions that people want to show and demonstrate proficiency at. And so that's a really important piece of helping people achieve their goals too.
No, that's awesome. And I think I had some experience with ETS when I was undergrad, taking the GRE.
Yeah.
But then decided to go business school route versus becoming a clinical psychologist, which is where I thought I was going to go. But now I'm doing podcasts. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Maybe doing a podcast is like my way of getting back there. I don't know, but it's.
You might need a couch.
I know. I do. But it's fascinating, like what you're doing and who you're serving. And I love the acquisition that you made and trying to focus on the workforce as well, or expanding your remit there. Innovation is part of your job and a big part of what you're driving at the company. Where do you see that innovation path going for ETS?
Yeah, I think as we were talking about earlier, that CMO role is really changing, but it is marketing, but more and more it's inclusive of all the things I was just talking about earlier, e-commerce and how we show up and give back to the world and through philanthropy and other ways, but also bringing all of those insights and perspectives and growth strategies really to product innovation. And that's why I love this role. It's unique, but in all the best ways. So it forces me, and that's not really the right word to use because I love to work with across the businesses and across the functions. That's my favorite way to be a creative problem solver. But it allows me, is probably the better way to say that, to work with all of the partners to serve customers in new and better ways. And that's just incredibly fulfilling for me. So I really do hope roles like mine will become more commonplace for CMOs. And because that's really the reality of the world we're operating in, we really need to help people connect all of those dots and help the organization connect those dots and really do what's right and be obsessed with the customer. So honestly, where's this innovation leading? I think we stand at the cutting edge of education and the workforce, data, learning science, all those work skills. And our real point of difference and what we bring to the table is measurement expertise so that we can help people demonstrate and help them adapt and thrive in this world that's constantly changing. So we really apply that science of measurement to help power human progress.
I love it. I love that. And it really like the notion of hoping that more CMOs roles end up like yours. And to me, if I go back, I'm a little old school, but like you think about the 4 Ps of marketing. Product is part of marketing, right? Quote unquote product, which is where innovation should sit in many respects. And I love that you've been able to blend your role to incorporate that as well and bring one of the Ps back into marketing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's where the fun is too, right?
Yes.
I think it's a blast.
No, exactly. With so much going on in the world, you can't escape AI. and artificial intelligence. How is AI playing a role in either assessments or the product and technology and things that you're building and thinking about today?
Yeah, AI, we've all been obsessed with that of late, right?
Yes.
And what's funny is that at ETS, we continue to be obsessed about it, but that's because we've actually been focused on AI for more than 20 years. So this isn't really a new space for us. We've been leveraging generative AI for about half of that time too. So not a completely new territory, although because it's moving so fast, we definitely are keep trying to keep up the pace. I think there are several ways that we're leveraging AI, and we have my CIO and I actually partner on leading the AI strategy across the organization. And I think this is another example of partnering and collaborating across the organization, because this isn't something that's owned by one division or group or functional group, right? We all need to be thinking about how we leverage AI in our work, but also in how we deliver better for our customers. We've had a lot of projects and initiatives across the organization to improve AI literacy for our employees, and then also to apply it in thinking about how we have better outcomes for customers. Just the other day, actually, back in February, we had a Valentine's Day AI hackathon, which was so fun. And I had the opportunity to be a judge. We had like over 20 teams present ideas on how to deliver better for our customers utilizing AI. And it was fascinating, all the things that they dreamt up. We have a nice backlog of product innovation here that I think we're going to be able to tap into. But there's some other things we're doing as well. For example, we're partnering across the industry. We work with leading industry partners like Code.org and ISTE and Khan Academy, and help form ethical user guidelines for the industry. For example, through the Teach AI initiative that we launched last year. That was an AI toolkit that was designed to help school leaders and teachers create thoughtful guidance to really help their communities realize the potential benefits of incorporating AI into education, but also help them understand and mitigate the potential risks. Another example is that we leverage generative AI in our product development and innovation work, and also multimodal AI. One of my favorite examples is actually out there in the public for free on the App Store. It's called Authentic, and it's really a way for people to help improve their interviewing skills. And it uses AI by you type in what kind of job and level you're interviewing for, and it'll come back and ask you questions as if you're in an interview. And then through multimodal AI, will take in things and give you insights back on things like your tone or how well you answered a question, your eye contact, etc., so that people get that insight and can help develop. So
that's amazing.
Isn't that fun? Go use it.
I'm gonna have to try that out. I've never heard of that app. I will. That's amazing. I love that technology.
I know. It's really fun. My son's in college, and I was telling him, you got to practice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a great service, a great app. And I think, again, so many use cases that we could think of, even with that technology to help people develop. So I think those are a couple of examples, I should say. But I think across the organization too, we think about ways to use AI to help drive our own productivity, I would say. If we're able to utilize AI to get some of the more mundane tasks out of the way quicker, that frees up our time as humans, really, to generate content, ideas, and things that really help us go to the next level. So I don't I think AI is an enabler. I don't think it's ever going to replace human. I hope it doesn't replace human insight, but it is so important that we utilize it in the best ways to drive customer outcomes and automation that frees us up, I think.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. With so much innovation and work going on at ETS, I hear that you're in the process of launching a rebrand. And so I think by the time this airs, it will be out into the world. I would love to hear about the process you went through and any kind of like major milestones you had to get through or achieve. And frankly, just why a rebrand? Why now?
Yeah, those are great questions. As I came in to this role, I think the organization actually was hungry for a rebrand. And that's because we are in a transformation mode where we impact was going to be greater. And I think that's really the driving force. Like I said, we're a 75-year-old nonprofit with a very strong history and reputation, but mostly rooted in educational measurements and assessments, right? And that the world's changing, and there's more of a need. People have more of a need to demonstrate skills and to, frankly, have lifelong learning. One of the things that's going to come out, hopefully, as this is published, it'll be out, is a report that we've done across 17 countries, 17,000 people, called the ETS Human Progress Report. And 8 out of 10 people across the globe agreed that continuous learning and lifelong learning was a necessity, really, to help them prosper. And so the ability then to measure proficiency, and not just from a cognitive standpoint, but also from a skill standpoint, is more critical than ever. So really, skills are the new currency for the future. And so in order to do that, we've had to relook at our strategic vision of where do we want to have impact in the world. And I think there's 3 big areas of impact. It's helping people demonstrate that skill proficiency, helping societies have upward mobility across economic and social and even global dimensions, and then ensuring that there's access and equitable ways to measure that. And that's where, we really come in, and that's our expertise, really, is the science of measurement. So we looked at and we can apply that to new spaces. And so we looked at everything we were doing as a brand, as a company, really, and wanted to look at that through a new brand lens, really with intention to drive growth, but also impact. So that led us to say, you know what, we really want to be in a new category. And we've defined that category as future readiness. How do we help people thrive and adapt to that changing environment all the time? And how can we deliver then for not only our existing customers, but new customers across the globe? My focus really for the new brand is that we're able to communicate that to a broader set of customers, that really we are leveraging today's technologies, helping deliver real-time insights and solutions so that we can help people enhance their skills and then really further human progress. So a couple of the milestones you talked about, again, I'm a big believer in enrolling and engaging the organization in any kind of change before you execute. So we really had this be a collaborative process. And first and foremost, we had to get our strategic vision locked and want to know and really define the kind of company we wanted to be in the future, and then build a future forward brand that met that vision. And it's hard sometimes to define what the future holds. So I would say that was one of the one of the critical things to get people enrolled and engaged on. And the other is it's amazing to see how a brand, and especially a purpose or a mission-driven brand, really talks to people internally to be brand ambassadors so that we can tell that story externally and gain more customers. And so that's been really fulfilling because, as Alan, a brand isn't just a logo or a set of colors. It's really how we position ourselves and the kind of promise that we make our customers.
Yeah. No, I love it. And if you were to characterize the essence of that new brand promise, how would you characterize it?
I would say, and again, we have a lot of customers. As I was talking up front, we have a big part of our organization is the ETS Research Institute. And the customers there are investors and philanthropists and policymakers and leaders around the world. We have ETS Solutions, which, help the workforce and governments and credentialing organizations with end-to-end solutions. And then, of course, we have many independent brands, as TOEFL, which is the English language proficiency test, and Praxis, which is teacher licensure, and then PSI, as we were talking earlier. So a lot of customers to create a promise that we can deliver on. So the essence of that is advancing the science of measurement to power human progress. And everything that we do and we put out in the world has the science of measurement behind it. And we always look to advance that so that we're building the new benchmarks for the world. And then, of course, people are of utmost importance to us. And we really want to power the progress that they want to see.
I really like the new essence, if you will. And all the work that you're doing, it's simply amazing, to be honest, and how it connects to society as a whole. And your comment earlier about how lifelong learning is so essential to cultures, to people, to the advancement of the humans that populate this earth. And so much is constantly changing around us. We have to be learning. And I love the fact that you guys are really maybe at the center of that, ensuring and making sure that that's actually occurring and you can demonstrate it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I know I've not been in this industry before, Alan, and I have to say it's so amazing. I've worked on purpose-driven brands before, but this one takes it to a new level. And it's amazing to see the impact that you can have on not people, but as you mentioned, societies and even the world. So it's an important area, and I'm really happy and glad to be part of it.
It's awesome. One of the things we like to do on this show is get to know you a little bit better. We knew you had this space aspiration in the past, but my favorite question to ask everybody on the show, maybe this is my couch question, but has there been an experience?
That's the branding right there.
My couch questions, yeah. What experience of your past defines or makes up who you are today?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit earlier, but I'll just repeat some of it because I do think it's so important. Yeah. As I mentioned, I think my time as an engineer, a mechanical engineer in the plant, really did help define who I am today. It was very formative to be so early in my career and to have a real leadership role. And I think some of the things that I took away from that experience shaped me as a leader, as a team member, as hopefully a well-rounded marketer here. And some of those were like creative problem solving, as we talked about, Alan, but really doing that under pressure. Like when a manufacturing line is down, that is not a good thing. You really need a disciplined approach to get it back up and running. But also teamwork. That nothing happens without a fully functioning team. Everything is broken when your team is not working together and rowing in the same direction. It is so incredibly hard. And I really do focus on the talent that I'm bringing onto a team, ensuring that people have experiences and diversity of thought to bring to the table to help with that creative problem solving, but also just to be stronger as a team. Because I really do think that when you have multiple perspectives and multiple ideas and from different vantage points, you're going to end up with the best solution in the end. And then I think at the same time, I was young in my career, but I was figuring out like how to lead teams. And as I mentioned, definitely teams that have sometimes more practitioner or technical application than I do. Figuring out how you can be most beneficial as a leader, I think has been very formative there. And so every time I feel like I'm faced with a scenario or a situation that maybe I haven't encountered in the past, I go back to these three things where it's thinking about how can I help be a leader with a team to solve creative problems or creatively solve problems, I should say.
Yeah. I love that. If you were starting this journey all over again, what advice would you give your younger self?
I would say I would go back to taking the road less traveled, honestly. I think there's a ton of value in taking a leap and looking down a path that you may not know where it's going to end. And I think what that yields is the ability to build resilience and adaptability. And you find that you're able to do that, ramp up quicker and quicker by ensuring that you are taking those different paths, because it's okay to explore different passions, take risks, try something new. Don't be afraid of that twisty road because you really don't know where it's going to lead. And every time I think that it's been the best decision that I could have made because you're so delighted with the things that you didn't know were going to be down that path.
That's beautiful. What is there a topic you are trying to learn more about yourself or you think marketers need to be learning more about today?
I think that the kinds of problems that we're trying to solve as marketers now are so much more complex than they were. The way that we measure impact and effectiveness has grown, right? Because now we're in so many more channels than we were. So creating those holistic and omni-channel experiences that have the ability to tie those together and show impact is, I think, so important and so difficult.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't have that customer journey view. Depending on different industries are different, obviously, but sometimes it's very hard to follow that customer journey and really understand where that customer is and where in the journey and where there's experiencing friction that we can solve. And what I have found through a lot of work at all these different companies is that the more that people care about their internal org charts and their individual department or division objective, the harder it is to solve for the customer holistically across. And so it really, to me, I think shared goals have been the most effective way to get an organization focused on the customer together. Because if you have a shared goal like that and we don't meet it altogether, no one wins in the organization. And in the end, the customer wins when we meet that goal.
Yeah, I love that. I get two questions remaining for you. Are there any trends or subcultures that you're following or you think other people should take notice of?
I think personalization is obviously a trend that has been out there for a while, especially in marketing. But I think in our products and product development, personalization is incredibly important. And we have to support that with data and analytics. We're focused at ETS on the ways, as we were talking about, that data and even AI can help support and enable really amazing products and services. When we think about the customer experience when we're developing these, we know that there are certain aspects that need to be tailor-made from start to finish so that the individual really understands and benefits from that personalization. The app we were talking about earlier, that's a real example of how you can bring personalization to life because you're solving an actual person's personal challenge. And I think there's other ones out there as well. There's another free app out in the App Store called Converse Workplace. And that's another one that uses multimodal AI to help people build their confidence in English language skills for the workplace. Again, based on what the learner's goals and interests are, the engine and AI model can offer content and then those recommendations to help them. There's another example too on TOEFL Test Ready, which released back in February. And it's a test prep platform, but it leverages AI to offer personalized insights to the learner and then give targeted recommendations for them on the assessment. So it brings all of those learners' performance metrics together. So it's a real individual map of what the learner can do going forward. And then interestingly, in the Human Progress Report that we were talking about earlier, we saw that 80% of all global citizens agreed that AI is going to amplify the necessity for career shifts and upskilling and self-reinvention. And 72% agreed that they believe that AI is going to create new job opportunities that don't even exist today. So requiring new skills. So I think that's another example of how personalization and how AI can help with that personalization is going to continue to form what we need for the future.
Amazing. Last question for you. What do you think is the largest opportunity or threat facing marketers today?
I always try and look at things as an opportunity, and it's why I took this job. But I think as we were talking earlier, the CMO role is changing and frankly needs to change. I really hope that we're looking at the ways that marketing and innovation can come together and really drive a joint ambition to be, customer obsessed and real catalysts for growth and impact. And I think that's a huge opportunity for us to work across what typically can be silos. But when you're focused on the customer as the end objective, how groups can come together and actually be a bigger customer focused group.
I share that opportunity wish. And it's just been a really great conversation today. And I can't express my thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. It's been amazing. Really exciting.
Hi, it's Alan again. Marketing Today was created and produced by me with post-production support from Sam Robertson. If you're new to Marketing Today, please feel free to write us a review on iTunes or your favorite listening platform. Don't forget to subscribe on marketingtodaypodcast.com. Tell your friends and colleagues about the show. I love hearing from listeners. You can contact me at marketingtodaypodcast.com. There you'll also find complete show notes and links to what was discussed in the episode today, and you can search our archives. I'm Alan Hart, and this is